On February 12th, I submitted my client's mood board to her. It felt good to be back in the swing of things, and I can't wait to transform her style and confidence. Patrice, the woman who connected me with Primerica, also scheduled me for the last 2 classes that I needed to take for my life insurance license, and I'm looking forward to reaching out to the people on my list who I think will be interested in the opportunity. Also pray that I'll be able to study and retain the information necessary for me to pass the test the first time. So y'all, I keep praying for me to retain this information because there's so much information. Like once you get a hang of it, it's like easy and it makes sense, but it's just a lot of words, a lot of terms, a lot of information that I have to remember. So I'm just really like trying not to worry about it, but like I said, y'all pray for me. But that was a good day because I was able to submit the mood board to my client, my first client of 2024. I created a mood board for her. I submitted it to her and she loved it. And we were on the same page regarding her style. So that just felt really good. And like I said, I was able to schedule the last 2 classes to really get them out of the way. So that was a good day as well. So on February 13th, I had some great meetings. I met with Sola to get help with my proposal template, and she's excited to help me secure a space for the workshop series for free. I also met with Laura of the Third, and she's excited to partner with me. I pray that you give me some creative ideas on how we can partner. I also met with Deirdre from VOA News. Although she doesn't think that they have a budget to work with me, she gave me some ideas to work with other news stations and to connect me with other people. She also reminded me to follow up with Rita, who I still need to follow up with. Last but not least, I received my new bank card with M&T sooner than I thought. I'm so thankful that I was able to open up an account for my business, and I'm looking forward to the overflow. So February 13th was a good day. I was getting a little nervous about finding a space for free, but Jordan, my boyfriend, suggested that I reach out to these 2 women who host events all throughout Baltimore and suggested that I should reach out to them, connect with them. He's friends of theirs, and ask them if they could help with helping me find a space, a free space for my event, because they get free spaces all the time, y'all. So Sola is her name, and she was able to connect with me. Y'all, she sent me a template for a proposal that was so good. I used that as a guideline to create my proposal. And she suggested I create a 1-pager for myself, which I was able to create as well, which is perfect because I can now send that out to people who I want to work with or partner with, and all my information is there. So I was able to connect with her, and she actually was able to find me a space. I mean, I already knew about the space that my workshop series is happening at. I met Danny, the owner of Illicit Rag Vintage, when she first opened up Illicit Rag Vintage, the first location. So I connected with her and met with her, and I've actually had events in her first location before, but I didn't even consider her new location, which is a lot bigger and kind of in the cut. So that's where the workshop series will be. And shout out to Sola for bringing that up as an option and, just allowing that to happen or making that happen for me. But aside from that, I also connected with Deirdre. So Deirdre is the woman who reached out to me to be a part of VOA News and to do my news segment back in January. And I was really wanting to connect with them because I wanted to be a stylist for them. Like, it's 3 women that are on the news segment and they need help. And I'm interested in helping them. I know that I can easily pull clothes from MM and like style them in that, but they didn't have a budget for me, y'all. They didn't have a budget for it. So, and she knew that they didn't. So she politely told me that they didn't, but suggested that I could reach out to some other news stations to see what that could look like. So she's supposed to be connecting me with a few people who she thinks I should be good to connect with. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know that styling news segments is something that I necessarily want to do. I mean, and ideally I would be styling the women on the show and providing them with clothing. And I know that they need it because they're on TV every day. They're always getting looked at. Like, it makes sense. So we'll see how that goes. It wasn't my first thought of where I wanted, SCB to go. But as you all know, a lot of things that were in my plan for 2024 have been changed. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm thankful that she thought to refer me to some other opportunities. That was really, really great. And y'all, I got my bank card a lot sooner than I thought. When I was at M&T, they said that I wouldn't receive it for about 7 to 10 business days. Y'all, I got that card on February 13th. I opened up the account. Let me bring it back. I opened up the account on February 7th. I got the card on February 13th. So less than 7 days, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 6 days. And over that course of 6 days, we ran into the weekend. So 7 business days is typically weekday days. But the fact that I got it way less and way quicker, or way less days and way quicker time than I thought I would, I knew it was God. So I was very thankful for that. So now we're on Valentine's Day. Y'all, so every year I forget that my boyfriend's mom's birthday is on Valentine's Day. And every year I get frustrated because I have to share that day with her. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but like, what? So Jordan was actually supposed to take his mom out to breakfast that morning and then spend time with me that evening. But he ended up not doing that and just spending time with me in the evening and spending time with her the next day. So it worked out the way that it was supposed to, but I gotta remember that's her birthday, y'all. Like, me and Jordan have been together for 7 years at this point. I should know when his mom's birthday is. Maybe I just don't want to remember because it's on Valentine's Day. I don't know. But on February 14th, Jordan and I celebrated Valentine's Day. It was a busy day for me with work and all, so I was looking forward to spending my evening with him. We went to a sip and paint. So we went to Painting with the Twist, which is right in Towson, right by his house. Y'all, we ain't have no plans for Valentine's Day. We ain't have nothing planned. So I was a little frustrated on top of being frustrated about his mom's birthday. So he kind of like whipped up something kind of last minute, but it was perfect. Like, for me, it really doesn't take a lot to please me. I just want to have a good time. I want to be with my friends, the people that I love, and I just want to have a good time. So when he suggested the sip and paint, I'm like, oh yeah, we could do that. We hadn't done that together as a couple before. We went to a sip and paint class and out to eat. The painting actually turned out really, really nice too. So we did like it was like a double painting, and they connected. And it said lover. It was really pretty. And it was BYOB. So of course we brought some wine and we turned up. So that was nice. The painting actually turned out really nice too. I also met a woman at my job who could be a potential client of mine. I'm going to draft up an email to send to her tomorrow. So I also met another woman who I thought was going to be a potential client of mine, like Stacy. Apparently I thought wrong. I reached out to her. She claimed she was interested. She was actually located in Baltimore, which was one of the main reasons why I'm like, oh, you know, you might be great for my service. So she said she was interested. I sent her an email. Y'all, she never responded. She never responded. So I'm like, okay, you know, maybe she's busy. She's a doctor, like she's busy, all that stuff. So I followed up. She never responded the second time. At that point, I knew she wasn't going to be a client of mine, and I was okay with that. I did send her an email twice, but she never got back to me. But it's okay. We had a really good Valentine's Day. We ended up going to Outback after the sip and paint, which was nice. I really don't eat out like that. When I do, it's typically something fast and like healthy, like Panera Bread or Chipotle or Honey Grow or Cava. Like, that's what I typically eat when I eat out for lunch usually. For dinner, if we go out, we'll go to like, we don't usually go to chain restaurants. We'll go to like, you know, something like a one-off or whatever to go out to eat if we do go out to eat, or we'll eat at home and just go out for drinks. So when he suggested Outback, I'm like, okay, I haven't been to Outback in a minute. Like, it's been a minute. So I was open to it, and it was really good. And I was telling all my friends, like, y'all, he took me to Outback, and it was real good. And they're like, yeah, we love Outback. Da 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 da. Outback is lit. Da da da. I'm like, y'all, I really do not eat out like that. So if I do like go to a restaurant that's like a chain, it's typically like Olive Garden or Carrabba's or Banditos, or like a Mexican restaurant, Mezcal. Like, it's never like regular, like, especially like a steak place. Like, I don't eat steak. It goes right through me. I can't. So I ended up getting chicken, and it was really good. I got like the flight. I got a margarita flight. It was really good, and the prices were really reasonable, y'all. Like, I was very shocked. but it was really good and I enjoyed myself. On February 15th, I was able to complete a 1-pager and updated the proposal for the workshop. I'm glad the 1-pager was completed because I can send that to people who are interested in working with me. I was able to work out and work with clients at MM that actually shopped. Although I didn't get commission this month, I know my financial breakthrough is coming. Like I told y'all in the last video, my commission check was insane for January, and February I didn't get one. It was a little frustrating. I was a little sad, but I didn't get one, and I don't think I'm getting one for March either. But I know after this I'll be getting commission checks consistently. It just, I guess business was slow. I got a lot of returns. I didn't sell as much, and it just was a lot going on, but it's all right. I will say that my 1-pager is completed, so I'm thankful for that. I can now, like I said, send that off to whoever wants to work with me, whoever's interested in learning more about me. I now have a proposal for the workshop series moving forward. So now that way I can send it out to places who I may want to use their event spaces for free, you know, just let them know what I'm doing, and hopefully we can collaborate or partner in some kind of way. So I didn't have that before, so I'm thankful that I have that now, thanks to Sola. On February 16th, I got paid but didn't receive a commission check. I was a little upset, but was still able to budget and do what was necessary. I also had a really great call with Stacy and Tracy. I'm looking forward to continue working with them. So Stacy was my client, my first client of 2024, and we had another session which went really well. In that session, I also talked to her about her budget for her shopping, and she mentioned that her budget was a hefty amount, which I was so thankful for, because if you're gonna pay about $3,500 to work with me, the clothing isn't included. Your clothing budget is completely separate. So if you're spending $35 for a service, then it makes sense to have something close to that to shop with, at least $1,000 to shop, especially if I'm, you know, shopping for a complete wardrobe for you. So that's not cheap. You know, it costs money. She had a hefty budget of $2,000, y'all. I sent her an invoice for that $2,000 and she paid it, which was it felt so good. Number one, to actually receive that large amount of money. But number two, I'm glad that she paid it when she did, because that gave me the ability to start shopping for her. So that was great. Tracy, like I mentioned, was a woman who she's the one that scheduled the style breakthrough session on the day when I was having the issues with M&T. She's actually looking forward to working with me towards the end of March. So I'm excited to reach back out to her. I also paid off my CQ credit card, y'all. So I paid my credit card off before. I have 2 credit cards, well 3. One of them I do not use. My CQ credit card has a very small limit. It's a student credit card that I've had since college. And it was definitely something that I had been working on paying off, because I wasn't really using it, and it just had a balance just sitting there. So I was so thankful that even though I did not get paid my commission check in the month of February, I was still able to pay off my credit card. So I'm very thankful for that. Now I'm working on the other credit card that I need to pay off. On February 17th, the next day, I took the second pre-licensing class and made it through. So I'm done all the classes, y'all. It was a long class, but I was able to come back to Jordan's and relax. He also made me dinner, and it was really good. So I was very, very thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I'm done those daggone classes. On February 18th, I took my last pre-licensing class, okay? And I'm glad to be halfway there. Now I have to study and focus on passing the test. I pray that I'm able to pass the first time around. Stacy also paid her second half of her investment, and I'm so thankful that you sent me her. I pray that you can continue to send me clients who trust me and fully understand my value like she does. It's been a long year up until now, and I'm thankful to be living in one of my answered prayers. So I was so thankful, because it was a little nerve-wracking, because I had asked Stacy to submit her budget of $2,000 the day before the remainder of her investment was due. So we ended up, for the $3,500 that she paid me, we ended up splitting it in 2. She paid me the second half the next day after sending me her budget. So it's like, it just reassured me to know that people have money. That's number one. People have money. A lot of people say that they don't, it's not in their budget, da 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 da. They have it. Number two, people have the money to pay me to do what I'm capable of doing. I have the expertise. I'm an expert. I've been doing this for over 10 years. People trust me. People will continue to trust me, and people will pay me what I'm worth. Those are just affirmations that I'm saying out loud because sometimes it's hard to believe. Sometimes it's hard to believe that I'm worthy enough for someone to even send me and trust me with that amount of money. I don't know why, but it is. And I'm sure you watching this may feel the same when it comes to your business. If you run a business, or even if you don't, you maybe just work a 9 to 5, you may feel the same way. And that's not true. Like, you have everything that you need. You are capable. You are an expert no matter how long you've been doing something. I know for me, I used to think like, all right, 10 years, I reached my 10 years. Like, that's something to show for. And it is. But I had everything I needed at 5 years. I had everything I needed at 2 years for someone to trust me and be confident in what it is that I was providing them, the service that I was providing them. So those affirmations weren't just for me, but they were for you too. So say that to yourself every day. Like, I'm capable, I'm worthy for someone to pay me as much as I'm asking for. Like, I don't need to lowball myself. I don't need to lower my rate. I don't need to do any of that. Stand firm in your rate. Stand firm in how much your service costs. To work with me is $3,500. And y'all, it was more than that. And y'all know, if y'all been watching my vlogs and just the process of me elevating my business, I was out here charging $5,000. Now, maybe I jumped the gun a bit, not to say that I'm not capable, but maybe just my audience or the women that I'm speaking to just don't, I don't know, like $5,000 is a hard pill to swallow, at least for the women that I was talking to. So I ended up doing the $3,500. And I was able to get a client off that. And one thing that she told me, she was like, okay, I budgeted $5,000 for this entire experience. So $3,500 for you, $2,000 for clothing. I'm like, wow, that's a good way to look at it. So I was originally trying to charge $5,000. And she considered that as a full budget for everything, for my service and clothes. So it made me feel really good about my price point. It made me feel really good about her budget. And it made me feel good to know that, you know, other women are probably going to be more willing to work with me at that price point because they know that they can put aside, they can put aside a budget of a good hefty budget of at least $1,000 or $2,000 for clothing to make it make sense for them. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, it was just confirmation for me when she said that. On February 19th, I met up with Jade at the mall. She needed to go to Bath and Body Works and ended up gifting me a body wash. So y'all, I went to the mall because I wanted to go to Sephora. I needed some concealer and like some toner. And at the time, my friend Jade, we were talking and she was like, oh, well, I gotta go to the mall too. Just meet me there. So I ended up meeting her there. She needed to go to Bath and Body Works because she was getting something for her grandmother. And I met her in the store. I was not planning on buying anything, y'all, at all. But we love the scents. We love going in the store, smelling all the scents. So we smelling everything and all of that. And she gets to the register because she has a coupon. I had walked away for a second, but then I had walked back over to her and she was like, you want a free body wash? It comes with my coupon. I'm like, ooh, sure, thank you. Thank you. So I went over and got one of the body washes that we had smelled that I liked, and she gifted it to me. So that was nice. It was a nice little surprise. So I was able to go to Sephora and get a few things I needed. I had some great appointments at work as well, and a couple of big orders as well. I think I have another sinus infection, but I'm thankful to be here. So y'all, I ended up getting sick again. I was sick at the end of December, and I got sick again, obviously, February 19th, February 20th. So yeah, with my sinuses and things, I feel like I get like around this time of year too, I feel like I get sick really easily and more often, like congested, like throat pain, like all the things. I feel way better now. So typically when that happens, I'll like do liquid IV, I'll do mullein leaf, I'll do olive oil of oregano, elderberry, which I eat every day, of course vitamin C, like just ramping up on all the things to just build my immune system. But I think my immune system is definitely strengthening, but those are things that I need to incorporate in my everyday lifestyle. So I do take vitamins. I take probiotics every day. I take elderberry every day. The tea that I drink I think it's vitamin C in it. So it's things that I do every day that help to build my immune system, but I need to probably ramp up, especially during this time. And now, since it's about to be spring, I know my allergies are, hopefully, I'm praying they're not going to be crazy this year. But I actually just, yesterday, I did a refill for my prescription for my allergies. And so that should be coming soon. February 21st. I received the remainder of Stacy's investment in my new bank account. I feel like I haven't had this much money in my bank account in a long while, and I'm so thankful. I was able to afford to get both a mani and a pedi and run some errands yesterday. I was also able to study for my life insurance exam, and I'm looking forward to passing it. So y'all, this day was a good day because I worked. I've always been praying for days where I can like work, do what I love, but still like run errands, get all the things that I need, but still like do some self-care stuff. And that might sound small, but it's something that I've been praying for, and that day was like me living in a prayer. So I was working, I worked with some clients, and then I had to run out and get some things. So I was able to run some errands. I was able to spend some time to get my nails and toes done that day. I was able to tip. Like, just like the smallest things are the things that I feel like I've been very thankful for lately. And I'm just so thankful, like from the nails, to be able to afford that, to be able to run errands and still get everything that I need without having to like penny pinch or all of the things that I used to do. So I'm just thankful for the growth, and I'm thankful for, you know, where God is leading me right now when it comes to my finances, when it comes to my daily life, when it comes to my quality of life. It's just improving every single day, and I'm very thankful for it. On February 21st, oh, so that was February 20th. Y'all, I done got my days mixed up. So February 21st, we're now on. I was off work, but still had to do a lot of work. I slept in for a bit and then started to tackle my to-do list. I scheduled some emails, tuned into a webinar, and started shopping for my client. I was supposed to have an info session with Patrice, but nobody I reached out to who was interested in, you know, getting their life insurance license or even getting life insurance was available. So we ended up just canceling that session. But it's okay. I pray that if it is meant for me to have a team under me, that God would allow it to happen at the appointed time. India, who was supposed to be a part of the workshop series, also reached out and let me know that she wouldn't be able to be a part, and I'm not mad at all. This day I was off, but I slept in. I was able to still do a lot of the things on my to-do list, which always feels good. But I actually, and I was also able to start shopping for Stacy, which was nice since she had paid me her budget. So that was a nice feeling. And I got some really nice stuff for her, y'all. I'll talk about that next month. But I got some really, really nice stuff for her. But we were supposed to have, Patrice has scheduled some time on my calendar to have an info session for Primerica and what it looked like to get insured as a life insurance agent. And, you know, I'm still in the process of getting insured. I'm still in the process of taking my tests. But she was like, you know, I want you to start early. I want you to start by getting some people on your team. So if you know of anybody who's interested in being licensed like you, definitely reach out to them, tell them what you're doing, and invite them to come on the info session. So I had a whole list of people, y'all, a whole list. Some of them were, well, most of them were all of them were my friends, but some of them were like my close friends. Some of them were women I had just connected with. Some of them were women that I had knew for a minute, even some guys on there. Earlier, or the week before, I had sent out like hella text messages, voice memos, and all of that, reaching out to people, telling them what I was doing to see if they were interested in being a part. And nobody was, not to say that nobody was interested, but a lot of people who were interested said now was just not a good time because it was just a lot going on for them. I had ended up canceling the session with Patrice since nobody was available. But it's all right. You know, I'm gonna get licensed and I'm gonna show them like, y'all, this isn't something that you gotta like do a lot of work to keep up. It's really just something you can do on the side. It's flexible. It's your own schedule. It's easy money once you get the hang of it. So I feel like once I actually get licensed and start getting clients and selling insurance, people will start to see that this is something that they could essentially do on the side. So I'm excited to share that and start going through that process with people. Okay, so moving on to February 22nd. So on this day, I followed up with Sola for the third time, and she finally got back to me saying that she was swamped. Y'all, as I mentioned previously, I was connecting with her and working with her to get me connected to Hotel Revival and to just help me, really find a space for free. And y'all, she hadn't gotten back to me in like a couple of days, and I was starting to get worried. I was really like, dang, like I hope she didn't ghost me. Like, I just hope, nothing is wrong. Like, is she okay? So when she finally got back to me, I was definitely relieved, but she just mentioned that she was busy. And I just feel like at this point in time, just this part of the year, I just feel like everybody is just so busy with everything. Like, I guess it's just the end of the quarter, like we're about to go into a new season. So it's just a lot going on, and that's just what happened. But that goes to show you that sometimes you just need to follow up with people 3 or 4 times. And that's okay. Like, not everybody's going to see your first follow-up. Sometimes they'll miss the second, even the third. So, I mean, I'm grateful that she got back to me, but obviously I'm not able to use Hotel Revival for my event, but I got a space, y'all. I got a space. So I'm super excited for that. Although Hotel Revival may not be the space for my workshop series, I'm hoping that I can still get connected, which I did. And I also sent a proposal to another location that I would love to have the event at, but that same day, or before, I think on another day that I mentioned, I was able to actually solidify a location. So I'm so thankful for that. I'm praying that it is meant for me to have this workshop in March so that I'm able to secure a space. So I'm hoping that I was able to secure a space soon, which I did. My uncle also sent me $75 in advance, but for helping him out the following week, we ended up having to reschedule because of the weather. And I also had a call with another young lady who I recently connected with, who's a photographer, and she wants to collaborate and work together and have me to be a part of her offering as a stylist. So super excited for that. She's so sweet. I love her work. It's very clean and very on brand with what I do. So I'm so looking forward to, working with her and styling her clients when they need help. So we're actually going to schedule another call to just follow up sometime this week. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, just like a lot of moving parts. Like, originally the workshop series was supposed to be on March 9th. I had been talking about this since January, but when I really wanted to find a space that was free, that kind of like slowed down the process a bit. One, I was just nervous to reach out to people to ask them to use their space for free. And 2, I just felt like I didn't have that many relationships to be reaching out to people, asking them for a free space. I mean, I've hosted plenty of events, y'all, in the past. The Gold Digger Workshop, the vendor, the Sip and Shop events, like all the things, and those were all pre-pandemic events. A lot has changed since then. I've changed, my businesses have changed, my network has kind of shifted a bit. What I was doing back then, I was basically paying for everything, and one of the reasons why I stopped hosting events was because it really caused a lot of anxiety for me. There were points in times where I owed people money and I did not have it, and I didn't make a profit. Like, it was just very stressful. And although I enjoyed the event as it was happening, I loved seeing people attend and enjoy themselves and just come together and fellowship, but it was very stressful for me. I was doing a lot of those events on my own. I didn't really have any help, and it was partly my fault. I mean, I never really asked too much for help. I mean, aside from some volunteers here and there, but like, I didn't really ask for much help because I didn't want to have to pay anybody else to help me on top of what I was already paying. Hosting events can get very expensive, and sometimes I feel like I kind of forget like all the things, because of course I want to provide a luxurious experience, like beautiful ambiance, like everything, all the details, whatever. Of course I want to be able to do all of that, but sometimes that comes with a price tag, and when you don't have a budget for things like that, it's not easy to just still create that type of experience. So that's where I was at with events for a very long time. I know that I'm great at speaking. I know that I'm great at sharing my expertise. I want to be able to serve and help women. So in order for me to do that, I mean, one of the main ways to do that is to host an event, whether it be virtual or in person, to just increase my reach. You know, when I came up with this idea, or when God sent me this idea to have this workshop series, I'm like, okay, well, who can I call on that could help me who can I bring on that I could collaborate with so it's not just all on me? So I'm so excited to be partnering with my friend Mona. We actually connected randomly at one of Tatum's events. So Tatum was actually a speaker at one of my Gold Digger workshops, the first Gold Digger workshop that I hosted. And she actually opened up a co-working space in Laurel, Maryland. And I attended to kind of see the space and just see what it was hitting for. And Mona was there. And me and Mona connected and we hit it off. She was super sweet, so very nice, and just very gentle and just very caring. And when the workshop series idea popped up in my head, she was the first person I thought of. I'm like, oh, I want to partner with her. I want to collaborate with her because she really embodies the type of women, one, that I want to work with, but the type of woman that I want to be. You know, very in tune with the Holy Spirit, very in tune with God and who she is. Prayer life is strong, and I just know having her presence in the room is really going to make this event that more valuable. When this idea came about and I wanted to host it March 9th, that was the set date. But when we kept getting closer to March 9th and I didn't have an event space solidified, I had to push the date back to March 30th. So I really wanted to have it in March because one is Women's Month, and I really wanted to have an event during Women's Month. I never had an event during Women's Month before. So I'm so excited that it was able to be solidified at Illicit Rag Vintage 2.0 with Mona. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some vendors, maybe 2, and really filling the room with 30 women. I really want it to be a very exclusive, private, kind of safe space where it can just be an open conversation. Like, although Mona will be teaching, although I will be teaching, I really don't want to speak to the women. I want us to all be in fellowship and feeling comfortable to talk and share our experiences and share like who we are. That's the type of space that I'm wanting to create with this workshop, and I'm so excited that it's like happening. So moving on to February 23rd, I had a really great style shift session with Stacy. It felt good to talk through how she was feeling, and I pray that she increases her prayer life and utilizes all of the journaling prompts I have given her. So when I recreated or rebranded my business, my styling service looked a lot different from what it looked like last year. Although I'm still helping my clients determine their body shape, determine their measurements, their size, cleansing their wardrobe, curating a capsule wardrobe for them, I'm also giving them more of my time. And that consists of weekly sessions within the 8-week experience that I'm offering them, where they're recorded and we get to talk freely. Some of those sessions do have topics as far as like budget for clothing, of course the body shape measurements, the size and all of that. And then just like their personal style, we talk through the mood board when it's completed. We talk through the lookbook when it's completed. And then one of those sessions also is a try on session. But in between, like there are maybe 1 to 2 sessions that are in between those 8 that are kind of like a free for all session, where we're just talking about whatever I feel led or whatever the client feels led to talk about. And on February 23rd, that was one of the sessions that we had. And it really felt good because I was trying to, I don't want to say that I was trying to get her to cry, but I definitely want my clients to feel comfortable enough to let that out during that session if they feel the need to. I know it's virtual, so we're not like face to face, but I still want them to feel safe to be able to talk through whatever they may be going through. So I asked her about her prayer life. I encouraged her to journal. I encouraged her to pray more. I encouraged her to create a routine, a morning routine that really helped her to just set the foundation for her day. This is what I do for myself, y'all, and it's very, very helpful. And one thing that I recently learned was having a routine is great, but also being willing to switch up your routine when need be or just randomly. Because God is watching you, but the devil is also watching you too. So if you have like a routine, you're doing the same thing every day, he knows what you're doing. He knows what's coming next. Like you're doing the same thing every day. So, you know, I encourage you all, if you do have a routine, to not be afraid to switch it up. Sometimes it's not an intentional switch up. I gotta get somewhere. I don't really have time to like sit and journal right now. I'm gonna do it later. And I say that to say, like, sometimes that happens. Like for me, every day looks different for me. So aside from me doing my morning routine, which is the same every single day, but some days I do have a meeting that's a little sooner than later. I do have an event that I need to go to that may start a lot earlier than normal, and it kind of cuts into my routine. Sometimes, you know, just allowing your day to flow and just switch up your routine. Going to the event in the morning, maybe doing your journaling at night before you go to bed, or maybe doing your journaling or spending time or meditation at lunchtime before you get back to work. Like just doing random switch ups, I feel like is like a breath of fresh air, and it's just helpful to your mental. And that's something that Raven encouraged us to do. So that's something that I started doing as well. Not a lot, but trying to like switch it up every so often. And I said to God, I said, I pray that you send me more clients like Stacy who are ready to make a change and want to be transformed. I also was approved for another $100 blog post for ModSense. I also confirmed a potential space for my workshop, which is exciting, but I'm still looking forward to hearing back from one of the other locations. The place that was meant for me to have that God intended for me to have my workshop series at is where I'm having it at. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But I am going to follow up with the other spaces and the other locations that I reached out to. So moving forward, on February 24th, I finished up my shopping for Stacy and it felt good. I pray that everything fits her well and that if anything needs to be returned or exchanged, then I'm able to do that with no issue. Also got to spend the day with Jordan, which was nice. I enjoy going to art shows and events with him. It's nice to see him in his element and making connections. Also really enjoyed the Cafe Conversations event at New Psalmist. That was my first time actually being in the church, and it was a really nice experience. It also made me realize what type of friend I am versus the type of sister I want to be. So this day was good. A lot went on that day. This was Saturday. My friend Rhea, she actually invited me to an event called Cafe Conversations that was at a church called New Psalmist here in Baltimore. I have a church home. I also have a virtual church home, but I'm not opposed to visiting other churches and really seeing what else is out there. I don't live far from New Psalmist, and I remember when they built the new location. It's huge. And since then, I had never visited the church. I had never been in the church. So when Rhea told me about the Cafe Conversations and invited me to the event, I'm like, all right, cool. I worked that day, but I'm gonna try to like make it work. Y'all, I made it work. And I'm so glad that I did, y'all, because it was such a good event. One, it was all women in the room. Old, young, middle-aged, whatever. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, like baby boomers, all the things. All the women were in there. And I just loved the atmosphere. The woman who hosted it, she was super sweet, very down to earth. And they just allowed women in the audience to really just talk and share their experience about sisterhood and what it was like for them, you know, growing up, what it's like for them now, and what type of sister they are or what type of friend they are. So it was based around sisterhood in the Black community. And I went with my friend Rhea. Her sister was there, Carrie, and then Carrie's mom was there as well. They both go to New Psalmist. And I didn't really say too much. I was more so observant because I had never been in a space like that. It was actually a lot of women. I still felt comfortable and safe, but it just was a lot of women. And I don't know none of them like that. And I don't know, I just wasn't in a space to just share too much, but I was definitely listening and learning. And it felt really good, one, to be in a space like that, but two, it felt good to just realize a few things about myself. There were two speakers. So the first woman who pretty much did the entire event, and then another woman who spoke about sisterhood and like the type of sister or type of friend that you are. And she had like 7 or 8 different types on the screen, and just going through all of them. Like, we all have a friend like this. She does this, 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 and this, and then this, like, just really talking through it. And it was so cool to see like what type of friend I was, and also the type of friend and sister that I actually want to be. I feel like I'm a good friend, but I can be a better friend. The things that I want people to do for me, I feel like I don't necessarily reciprocate that. Like, I want people to check in on me, I want people to call me, I want people to do all the things, but I've had that before and it irritated me. Cause y'all, like, I'm always doing something, and I just feel like I'm not like a phone kind of girl. Like, I'll do FaceTime. Being on the phone is cool too, but it's like after like an hour or two, it's like, all right, girl, I gotta go. Like, I got stuff I gotta do. I'm always doing something. I'm a worker, so I'm always working. And at that event, I realized like, okay, I want to be able to check in with my friends more. I want to be able to talk with my friends more about what they're going through, what they're experiencing. And we talk through things, and we talk. We use Marco Polo with my friend group at home, and then my friends who don't live here, we're on FaceTime. We have like a group chat with FaceTime. Sometimes they'll call and I just won't pick up because I'm in the middle of doing something, or my time is being spent elsewhere. But lately I've been doing better at picking up the phone, because eventually, I hope and pray that they don't stop, but eventually they may stop. And I'm gonna wish that they didn't. And that happened with a friend. I'm still really cool with her. One of my friends. We've been through ups and downs. And we still talk on Marco Polo every day. But like, she used to call me often. And it was points of times where I'm like, I'm busy. Like, I really don't have time to talk on the phone. Like, and I just wouldn't answer. And eventually those calls stopped. I mean, and obviously it wasn't because I was a bad friend and we stopped being friends. It was just because like life, like she went in one direction and did her own thing. And like, I got busier and started doing other things. And she also got busy. She had kids. So it's just like, I don't want that to ever happen again. But I also want to be in a space where, I answer the phone and I'm there when my friends need me, because I want my friends to be there when I need them. And they're always there. And I'm always there too. Maybe not right at that second, but I'll call back. Or I'll circle the block and I'll come back around. And also too, just being more understanding and not so. I've definitely gotten better. I used to feel like I kind of was a little judgy towards some of my friends and some of the decisions that they've made or that they were making in their life. And it's hard. Like, for me, it was always coming from a place of love. It wasn't me like saying like, girl, like, why you doing that? It's more like, well, I would never do anything like that. Like, why would you want to do something like that? Or, I've tried that. I'm telling you I've tried and it doesn't work. So I'm trying to like get you not to do it, because I know it didn't work for me. So it may not work for you either. Like, I don't think you should do that. It's always coming from a place of love. But sometimes it doesn't come off that way. And I'm working on it. I mean, I'm at the tender age of 30 now. I've definitely have had a lot of growth from the age of 20 to now. 10 years has really done a lot mentally and emotionally for me. But I can be better. And I'm learning to be better. And this is me saying I'm working on it. And I'm excited to work on it and to watch myself grow. So I hope all of that made sense. But it was a really, really good event to say the least. So that was that morning. That afternoon, I went to an art show with Jordan. He was showcasing his art. And there were also vendors there as well. So I was able to support the vendors. They were all Black. Got some candles, took some pictures, got some drinks, got some finger foods, and Jordan showcased his artwork, and we spent time together. Then we came back home, we ate dinner, and then we went out for a drink. So it was a really nice day, a really nice end to the day, and all that good stuff. On February 25th, I received the $100 from the Mossings blog post, and I'm looking forward to doing more this year. Also sold an ebook to a potential client, and I'm looking forward to selling more throughout the month of March. We attended the community kickback at Hotel Revival, and it was a good time as always. I met the brand manager, which was great, and that may be my connection to having my event at Hotel Revival. I was also able to support some other local businesses and get some things I wanted and needed. So that weekend, I supported so many Black businesses, y'all. So I bought some candles at the event the day prior, and then on Sunday, I bought some body stuff. I bought some socks. What else did I get? I got something else too. I can't think of it. Oh, and at the day before, I won a journal. I won a free journal. So let me backtrack real quick. At the Cafe Conversations, the host, before we got started, the host was like, okay, so we have a fun game. Check under your seat. And if you have a pink or like whatever color Post-it note, bring it up for a gift. So it was so funny because I had sat with Rhea. It was a seat. She had actually pulled a seat like to the side for me. So I'm like, God already knew. So I sit down in the seat, and that's when the host makes the announcement to check under the seat. I checked under the seat and I had the slip, y'all. The free gift was a planner and a journal. My favorite things. My favorite things. And they were created by a Black woman. She was in attendance at the event. I think she was sitting at the table like right across from us. So y'all, I won a free journal and a planner that day. I don't know why I didn't write that in here. Fast forward to the following day. The event at Hotel Revival was a good day. It was Sunday. We were able to watch church. I got the money from ModSense in my PayPal account. I met the brand manager of Hotel Revival, which was so cool because I wanted to have that connection. I wanted to connect with someone there so that I could potentially start hosting events there for free. So, I mean, I know I was supposed to get a connection from Sola, but she hadn't, I don't know if she sent anything in just yet, or I don't know, but I hadn't connected with whoever she was connected with. So Jordan, my boyfriend, had actually knew Chelsea because Chelsea reached out to him to do a mural at Hotel Revival. Mind you, I never met Chelsea before, but I'm walking through and it's her and her mom. This was before I met her. Her and her mom is like, I love your outfit. I'm like, thank you. Y'all, I had on very simple look, but I loved it. I love a monochromatic look. I had on all one color. I had on a cream hoodie with cream jeans and cream boots. Then I had a green bag and a brown coat and brown glasses. So she was like, I love your outfit. I'm like, thank you so much. I'm like, this hoodie's from Target, girl. Like, it's not nothing fancy. She was like, yes, hopefully I can find it. So I just kept it moving. And then Jordan had mentioned like, oh yeah, that's Chelsea. She's the one who connected me with Hotel Revival to do a mural. Like, she reached out to me and all of that. So I'm like, oh, connect me with her. Like, I'm trying to be connected to Hotel Revival so eventually I can have an event there or something. So he introduced me to her. So I'm super excited. We're supposed to be connecting very soon. I sent her an email already, so I'm excited to connect with her. On February 26th, Jordan and I went for a walk in the morning. The weather was nice, so we took advantage of it. I ran a few errands and was able to use a mix of my business money, personal money, and Cash App money to get what I needed. I also edited part 1 of my January testimony video and will be releasing it on tomorrow. I was also able to schedule content for both ModSense and LTK. This was a nice day. This was Monday and the weather was nice. Me and Jordan decided to go for a quick walk. We didn't have a ton of time, but we wanted to get out and enjoy the weather. The weather has definitely been feeling very springy lately, so we're trying to take advantage of all the springy days because it has been cold prior to all of these days. But like I said, I was able to run errands, y'all, and I was able to, because now I have business, I have money in my business checking account, I have money in my business PayPal account, I have money in, of course, my personal account, and then I had some Cash App money that my uncle sent me. So I was able to use a little bit of all of that to do everything that I needed. I was able to get gas. I got my acai bowl, which made me feel good. And there was something else I got. I think I had to go to Walmart or something and get like a few things. But it just felt nice, one, being able to have all these little pockets of, not little, but all of these pockets of money to just pull from to get what I needed. Not feeling like I was tied to one card, or not feeling like I could only spend a certain amount because I only had this much on this one card. I honestly forgot that I even had money on the Cash App card. So when I was getting gas, I had put in my PayPal card. And then God reminded me like, oh, you have money on that Cash App card. Use that for gas. I'm like, oh yeah, let me cancel this real quick. I had just remembered right before I used my card. So I canceled it, and then I was able to use my Cash App card to get gas. So it just felt real good, y'all, to not feel like I was penny pinching and all that stuff. And as you know, part 1 and part 2 are available for the January testimony. So if you have not watched those, definitely go back and watch. Moving on to February 27th, we have a few more days left. I worked from Jordan's. I was actually off work, so I was able to sleep in until about 10:30, which felt good. I slept in a lot in February. I slept in like 3 days. Because as a Emma LaFleur stylist, I'm part-time. I'm full-time in my business, but part-time styling for them. So I don't work for them every day. So the days when I'm not working for them, I'm doing my personal work. If I know that I don't have a ton to do or it's not a lot to do, I'll sleep in. Obviously, I'm not gonna sleep in all day, but I'll sleep until like 10 o'clock, 10:30 and call it a day. Like, especially if I go to bed late, I make sure that let me wake up a little later so that I can make sure I get everything that I need. I completed and scheduled my January testimony testimony video, which was nice. I'm glad I decided to break it up into 2 parts because that video was long, y'all, and hopefully I don't have to break this one up. We still gonna see. Also treated Jordan to lunch. And when I got home, I opened up all of the packages I ordered for Stacy. So all her orders came. I got everything. It was so nice to just get all of those pieces together and see and feel them in person and really just like iron them and prepare them for her. I pray that her trench jacket and Oxfords and items from Bowdoin come before her session on Saturday. So there were a couple of items from Nordstrom and then an order from a website called Bowdoin that I had ordered for her. Her in-person try-on session was March 2nd. It said I would receive those packages until like March 4th, some on the 1st, and then some like after her date. I was like, oh, that's annoying. Like, I want to be able to give her everything all at once. So I had just said a prayer like, God, just please let them come on time. And in the meantime, I was planning to see like, all right, well, what can I do just in case they don't come on time? Like maybe I could schedule another day to go to her house. Maybe I could just mail them to her, like what to do. And she lives kind of far from me, y'all. She lives about an hour away. So I really didn't want to have to go to her house again. Although I enjoyed being there. I loved it. And this is after the fact, but I really loved it. And I wanted to be there so when she tried on clothes, she would have me there for assistance. But I got everything on time, y'all. I got everything on time and it felt so good. Although there was one thing missing from a package that I didn't even realize until I got to her house, but they're sending it out to me. Once I get it, I'm just gonna mail the pieces to her. So I'll talk about that in the next one. On February 28th, I had a walkthrough of Illicit Rag Vintage 2.0 for my workshop series. I'm thankful to be able to solidify a free space as that is one less thing I have to pay for. For now, I'll have to create the save the date for the flyer and I will get Jordan to work on the others. I'm looking forward to sharing everything with Mona and Kay. And I also confirmed that I was available to volunteer at the Supernaturally Paid Praise and Worship service. I also released part 1 of the January testimony. But yeah, y'all, so as y'all could see, the location for my workshop series has been solidified at Illicit Rag Vintage 2.0. I mentioned that previously in this video, but just want to keep talking about it. So if you're listening and you want to attend, you know where it's at. The details for the workshop will be in the description. But I was able to do a walkthrough. I had been to the space before, but I really wanted to like walk through and think how it will look with like my presentation on the wall, the 2 vendors, food, and all that good stuff. She has a bathroom there. So it's just really, it's a really, really cool space. And I'm excited to see like, you know, what it's gonna look like when everything is in the place that it should be. And I was able to solidify like chairs and all that stuff. So we're good. I was a little upset that I had to create my save the date because Jordan wasn't available to do it at the time. And he's my graphic designer. I really wanted to post about it last week. I posted and shared it to my emailing list and I shared it to LinkedIn and my IG for my business. But I did not share it on my personal page, which I plan on doing sometime this week. But I was able to put out the save the date and Jordan was able to create the flyers as well. They look so good, y'all. They look so good. And Mona really loved them too. So Mona is gonna be a part of part 1 and then Kay is gonna be a part of part 2 of the workshop series, which will be sometime in April or even June. And then I got an email about being a volunteer for the Supernaturally Paid Praise and Worship service. So I'll be volunteering for that tomorrow at 4, and then we have a corporate prayer tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'm looking forward to that. So moving on to the last day, February 29th. It was so surreal and so weird. But on February 29th, I realized today was a special day that only happens every so often. I tuned into a prayer call with Fashion Bible, which was cute. One of the women asked me how I found out about the call, and I told her who I was, and she knew exactly who I was. Her and the other women were stylists as well, and was very familiar with the Black Women Who Style platform. I also edited and scheduled my testimony for January part 2 that releases today. I even helped my uncle with one of his presentations and he gifted me a water bottle. Also received a $10 gift card from Starbucks for my job, which was a nice surprise. I forgot I had that. I could have definitely used that today. I'm gonna use it tomorrow though. But yes, y'all, the last day of February was such a cool day. It was a Thursday. I tuned into a random prayer call. I kept getting these emails on my Black Women Who Style email account from a brand called Fashion Plus Bible. like, how did I get on this? Like, what? So I got a random email about them having a prayer call, and I'm like, you know what, let me tune in. Y'all, I hopped on the call. It was me and another woman and the 2 other women who like ran the call. So it was just me and her. I'm like, I'm glad I hopped on. And then eventually the other woman hopped off. The other woman was literally, y'all, in a hospital bed. She just had a baby. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, when you're born on a leap year, like, how does that work? Do you celebrate your birthday like on the 1st or on the 28th? Or do you celebrate your birthday every time there's a leap year? Like, how does that work? Like, that's such a special day, but like the fact that it only comes around every so often is so crazy to me. So once she hopped off, it was just me and one of the women who ran or who was in charge of speaking also had to hop off. So it ended up just being me and the woman that created Fashion Plus Bible. And it was so cute. Like, she pretty much took us on like I forgot what she called it. It was something like a biblical hike. So basically it was different routes she created on a sheet. And she had different scriptures, different topics, and then different scriptures for each route. And at the end of the call, like I said, she asked like, well, how did you find out about Fashion Plus Bible, like the prayer call? I'm like, girl, I just started receiving random emails. I don't know, but I do receive them to my Black Women Who Style email. She's like, I knew you look familiar. I'm like, yeah, I'm the founder. She was like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, are you a stylist too? She's like, oh yeah, me and the woman who was on the call earlier we were stylists in LA. They're based out of LA, y'all. Like, I want to come visit y'all. She told me the name of their brand, and I remembered it because I remember sharing some of their content. I remember connecting with them very briefly on social media, but they're no longer stylists anymore. Now, you know, she felt led to create this platform called Fashion Plus Bible, and I love it. I think it's super cute, and I'm glad that I was able to tune into the prayer call, especially on the last day of February, the last leap day or leap day year in February. So it was really sweet. And then I went to my uncle's house to help him, and he since he had already paid me prior to coming, he ended up getting me a water bottle. So he ordered me a water bottle on Amazon because we were just talking. It's so funny, we were talking and I didn't have my water bottle that day, my little Stanley cup. He's like, where's your Stanley cup at? I'm like, oh, I left it at home, I had to wash it. He like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, he started talking about my aunt. Like, yeah, your aunt loves them Stanley cups. I'm like, yeah, I need to get another one because I just have that one. But I like the ones where the straw isn't exposed. Like, I feel like an exposed straw, unless you're at home, an exposed straw out in public is nasty. Like, the fact that people just be carrying that around isn't real nasty. So I got one where, you know, the straw, it has a spout, but it tucks in so you can flip it up and tuck it in. And he was like, oh yeah, I like those too. I even go as far as having one that has a cover. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even think about that. So we go on and talking or whatever. And he hands me his phone. He's like, go ahead and pick a water bottle. I'm like, okay, Uncle Mike. So I picked out a water bottle. This real cute like marble water bottle that's black and white. So he ordered it. I guess he ordered this at his house, so I'll probably just pick it up when I go over there the next time. But so sweet. And then I had checked my email for work, and I had saw a Starbucks email in there before, but I just get Starbucks emails on my work email because I signed into their Wi-Fi one time when I was working at Starbucks. So I didn't think nothing of it, but I didn't delete it. I told myself I would come back and read it later. So I clicked into it, and it was like, oh, thank you so much for all your hard work. Here's a $10 Starbucks gift card from MM LaFleur. So I'm like, oh, how nice. Thank you. I was just about to delete this email. I'm glad I didn't. So that was a cute surprise. So February was nice. February was very short, sweet, and to the point. January was definitely very robust with all, and I didn't even talk about the entire January. Mind you, we started the testimony on January 12th. So we missed the whole 12 days before that. So y'all don't even know like what happened on my birthday and all of that. I ain't even gonna get into it because now we're just gonna move forward. But February was a nice month. A lot of great things had happened, and I'm looking forward to March. Today is March 5th. Today is March 5th. So I will continue to jot down all the great things that have been happening so far. it's been pretty good. I mean, with our new fasting schedule, I think I mentioned this earlier video, but our new fasting schedule for Increase 365 is now the 1st through the 5th of every month. So today was the last fasting day of the month. So we got through it, y'all. We got through it. I ate good today. I'm not finished eating. I'm gonna eat some more. And yeah, today was a pretty good day. Although it didn't go the way that I thought it was gonna go, it still ended up being a really nice day. So I thank you so much for tuning in to my February testimony, and I look forward to seeing you in the March testimony. Bye.